Hi everybody, this is Dino Chris from Prehistoric Facts. This is a special episode. YouTube commenter has actually asked me to actually do a Megalodon episode. So this would be a Redux of Megalodon. So this would actually just be talking about new information about Megalodon. And he said this was for the honor of the Meg movie that is going to be coming out this summer. I'll actually do a review of that movie possibly in August when that movie comes out. And so hopefully get to tune in for that, and I'll also do a review for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, probably around July is when I'll probably get to see it. But anywho, let's get started with Megalodon, shall we? So Megalodon size maximum could actually be 50 to 60 feet in length, and weigh close to 50,000 pounds. So this is actually a very heavily built shark. It actually lived in the Miocene and the Pliocene, so around 23 million to 2 million years ago. So it actually lived halfway through the Pliocene, and then it pretty much died out at that point around 2 million years ago. And so when Megalodon is pretty much the biggest shark of all time. And so here's a replica of a tooth right here. This is a 5.5-inch tooth. And this is a very common replica tooth that you can actually find online, like basically in like a prehistoric store or places like that. But Megalodon from what I heard, the record holder for a Megalodon tooth is between 7 to 9 inches, if I remember correctly. It's around that range, and so that is actually a very large tooth. And so Megalodon could actually possibly get much larger than 60 feet, but we still don't know. But Megalodon would actually almost look like a great white shark in a way. The biggest great white shark is probably like the biggest great white shark is a little bit over 20 feet. Now make that great white 3 times bigger, and then you actually get Megalodon. And the juvenile Megalodon would actually be the size of the biggest great white shark, and so that is actually pretty significant. And so Megalodon has like over 300 of these teeth, and they would actually grow new ones every single year. You can see the serrations of this replica tooth. This is a very nice replica, though. And so Megalodon has these serrations on their teeth, and so this is actually designed for tearing through flesh and even going through bone. This was a very monster shark and had a very powerful bite. Megalodon would actually have a bite force between 30,000 to 40,000 pounds. 50,000 is a little bit of an overestimate now, and so we can actually say 40,000 pounds could actually be the highest that it can go, and so it would actually be the most powerful bite of all time. So this is actually a very powerful shark. And so what it would be hunting, it would be hunting very primitive porpoises, and also toothed whales and even non-toothed whales. It would be eating some sharks, and basically large prey. That's what it was going after, very large prey. And so this is an animal that would actually be very, very scary to look at. And so that is actually really neat to think. And a great white shark would actually be nearly the same color as a great white shark, but probably a little bit more darker on top, probably more like a grayish color on top, and then like a white bottom, kind of like a great white shark. And so it would actually have the same kind of hunting style as great white sharks, is that they actually kind of stalk their prey from below, and then once they're spotted their prey, they would actually judge when they actually should attack. Then they would actually go up, start having a quick burst of speed, and then they open their jaws, and then they once they actually have that animal once they have that prey item in their jaws, you could probably see Megalodon going, like half of the body of Megalodon would be in the air at that particular time over the surface, and actually clamping its jaws on its victim. And so that is actually a very, very scary thing to look at. And since that Megalodon is the biggest shark, you would actually think it is going to be pretty scary. And so, but scientists have actually figured out the top spot for Megalodons to be attacking is the side flippers of whales. And that kind of makes sense, because you see, if you actually go after the flippers, you can actually kind of actually make sure that that whale doesn't start turning. But whales kind of turn very slow when you actually think about it. Because you see, it takes kind of takes a while for a whale to actually start turning, whereas sharks, they can turn really quickly, and so that's why Megalodon would have the agility side to it, and also a bit more of the speed in a way. Megalodon would actually have a top speed of probably between 20 to 25 miles per hour in terms of speed, but there are some say that it could actually only be 15 miles per hour. So it's still up for debate of how fast Megalodon could go. And probably it did have predators. It probably did have other predators. Probably the one that would actually be hunting Megalodon a little bit more is Leviathan. Leviathan is a very big toothed whale that could probably get nearly the same size as Megalodon, but mainly hunting the juvenile Megalodons, probably like the half-grown Megalodons that would actually be swimming around in its territory and just going after those types of Megalodons. But Leviathan didn't live very long, whereas Megalodon did, and so Megalodon probably still was able to eat Leviathan from time to time. And like I said before, for the hunting style, they aimed for the flipper to make sure the whale couldn't actually turn, and then once that whale ultimately actually starts feeling like, okay, oh no, I can't turn, then I might as well just have to go straight, then the Megalodon would have to go after the fluke of the whale, and so probably bite right into the tail vertebrae of these whales. And we find some Megalodon teeth near whale bones and even in whale bones, and so that shows how powerful the bite is. And so they ripped a bunch of, just tore chunks of flesh. And so this would actually just be a very, very vicious type of attacks. And of course, Megalodon's extinction. Megalodon's extinction is mainly due to the fact is that since the oceans were getting colder around 2 million years ago. And so you're actually starting to have the period of where the Ice Age was starting to begin. And so ice caps were really starting to grow a lot faster at that particular time. And then also whales left those warmer waters, and they can adapt into the colder waters. And that's where whales started to develop blubber. And then you actually have Megalodon staying near the equator where the warmer waters are. And so it probably didn't actually move around very much once the oceans got colder. And so it probably starved to extinction. But also there was one type of predator that actually came around that time, around 2 million years ago. And we all know it as orca, or even the killer whale. And so it's the largest porpoise today. And so killer whales hunt in pods or groups, and they're very intelligent animals. Toothed whales. And so they were able to outcompete Megalodon for the remaining food sources. So all your fish, your seals, and even some sea turtles. And so pretty much Megalodon was not even going to compete very well against some of these killer whales. And so that's why Megalodon went extinct. And don't believe the fake documentary on Discovery Channel that says Megalodon is still alive. That is bogus. There is no evidence to support that Megalodon is still around. But even though the ocean, we haven't explored the oceans very much throughout our time here on Earth, and so that pretty much kind of says something. Says that there might be other things down there in the abyss that we have no idea is there, and we could actually start exploring these waters a little bit more, and then we can actually know if there's anything that is still around that probably left, like maybe say like tens of millions of years ago, that is still living down there. But Megalodon doesn't have that body type to actually adapt into deep sea, so that's why Megalodon is extinct. All right, that's it for now. Now, next week would actually be a Q&A episode, so if you got any questions about dinosaurs or any other prehistoric life, feel free to email me at dinochrist71@gmail.com, or let's go on my Facebook page, Prehistoric Facts of Dino Chris. Like the page, you can actually post your questions in the comment section or even on the wall of the Facebook page. But remember, keep your questions short to the point. You can also follow me on Twitter at CSGRALL. That's my Twitter page. I post pretty cool stuff on there. Also, take care of the people around you, and also for younger people out there, to make sure to listen to your parents, your teachers, and your guardians. It's the best motivation you can have a good education. It's very important to have a good education. With a good education, you get a good job in the future. And I would like to make this point here is to announce this new exhibit that is going to be coming. That is going to be here in Wausau, Wisconsin, throughout the whole summer, but limited hours. So go to colossalfossils.com to actually find out the summer hours. But this new exhibit is going to be featuring these types of creatures, pterosaurs. So we got a couple of medium to large size ones, but we got mostly some of the smaller ones as well, and so that we actually could talk about. So here's a pterodactylus that everybody wants to know, and so check out Colossal Fossil. Come on down to the museum whenever you can, sometime this summer, and just make sure you look at the hours for the summer, so that way you can actually catch up on that, and you can get a tour from me or otherwise from the executive director of the museum, that we can actually give you a tour that way. And very informative, very hands-on, and so might actually even let you guys touch this one. And so, anywho, so that's it for now, and I'll see you guys next week.